Right, so I'm going to try and give the rocker cover a bit of a clean. So usually what I usually do is spray it with a little bit of WD-40. I haven't got any of that today, so I'm just going to use this. Yeah, so we'll leave that settle now there for a good few minutes, and then we'll give it a go with a rag. And usually that stuff will start breaking down the oil deposit. Right, it's been sitting there for a minute or two. So usually what I do is go along and clean the light areas. And as you can see, it lifts off really nicely. You can wash the cover afterwards. You know you're going to have a bit of grit and grime in there anyway. So this is just to loosen up all the muck. If you've got more stubborn areas, just give it an extra little bit. There we go, looking pretty good. We give that a wash at some point before it goes back on the bike. But as you can see, it gets rid of all the gunk and the mess that you've got around there. Makes it a little bit easier to wash, and it still looks okay. Right, next I'm going to test this fan. This is the radiator fan, and these have known to fail from time to time, but it's usually because of the thermostat sensor, and then usually it doesn't send a signal down to switch the fan on, so you get overheating. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure it does work, get a normal bike battery, connect this up, and I'm just going to see if the fan spins. There'd be no point cleaning it and sorting everything out, putting it back on if it doesn't work. So the best thing to do is to just quickly test it. Don't have to be long, as long as it spins up. There we go, we know it works. So it's okay to go ahead and clean this up now. That to one side. Right, what I've got here now is not, as you can see, it's not actually that product that I'm using in there. This is actually gunk. Now I could use my other WD-40, but this is quite stubborn stuff. So what I'm going to do is just put some light bits around the side. Should be outside doing this really. There we are, it's all cleaned up. Give it a going over with the rag, and that's as good as it's going to get at the moment. I could go ahead and take it apart and then really get in there, but I think that will do. Might touch up a few little bits of rust that's on the bottom here, where you're probably getting stone chips from the bottom of the radiator. But that's clean enough. That'll go back on, and that will look fine. There's no need to go any further with that now. There we go. Let's move on to the next thing. Right, I'm going to do the same with the radiator. What I'm going to do is take off this grill, if it'll come off. I'm going to clean that up, and I might even try powder coating that, just to give it a nice fresh glossy finish. Now if I can get that to come out quite nice. It'll make the bike look much nicer in the front end. But what I'm going to do at the moment is just take the grill off, put it to one side and clean up the rest of the radiator. And then at least we'll have everything ready then to go back on the bike. Right, let's get this grill off. Yep, just pops off. So that's the grill. Now I could go for an aftermarket one, have a chrome one on there or some sort of stainless steel. But I quite like the original. Right, let's go at it. Again, I'm using gunk. Now don't be tempted to pressure wash this afterwards, because what you'll do is, if you do pressure wash one of these, is you'll bend all these aluminium fins over, and if you bend too many of them over, then you get overheating. So I am going to wash this, but what I'll be doing to wash it was just using a normal regular hose pipe. Well, there we go. I've given it a bit of a clean. That's the best it's going to get for now. As you can see there, still got some residue left, but some of the paint's flaking off from the bottom of the radiator where it's likely to have had a few stone chips. So I may go over that with a touch of paint. We're not going to go too over the top with it. Just basically getting it clean and back on the bike. That's as clean as it needs to be, really. There we go. Moving on to the next one.